Nice internet you've got there. Shame if something happened to it. Fact check. Does Ukraine owe the US $500 billion? No, and now there's a ransom demand. Great news, everyone. Donald J. Trump has once again revolutionized foreign policy by treating Ukraine like a contestant on The Apprentice. His latest brilliant idea? Ukraine owes the US over $500 billion for military aid, and to pay up, they should hand over half of their mineral wealth. Because when your country is fighting for survival, the best thing an ally can do is demand a cut of your lithium supply.
I'm dealing with President Zelensky. I'm dealing with President Putin. I'm trying to get the money back that, or secured, because, Europe has given $100 billion. The United States has given $350 billion. So I want them to give us something for all of the money that we put up. So we're asking for rare earth and oil, anything we can get.
And just to make sure Ukraine knows he's serious, Trump's boss, President Musk, is now threatening to cut off Starlink unless Ukraine plays ball. That's right. One billionaire says, give us your resources. And the other one says, nice internet you've got there. Shame if something happened to it. Totally not extortion. But here's the problem. The US hasn't spent $500 billion. The real number is $183 billion. And most of that money never even left the US. It went to American defense contractors. Let's take a look at the breakdown of the $183 billion. $66 billion, military aid, weapons, training, defense systems. $27 billion, economic aid, basically keeping Ukraine's government running. $3 billion, humanitarian aid, food, shelter, medical support. $58 billion, spent inside the US to manufacture weapons and replenish stockpiles. The rest, other defense and security efforts. So no, Ukraine isn't taking American tax dollars. It's funding its own military-industrial complex. You're welcome, Lockheed Martin. And about this mineral rights nonsense, Ukraine is a sovereign nation, not an episode of Storage Wars where the highest bidder gets half their economy. And the Starlink threat? Musk's basically saying, I know you rely on my satellites for battlefield communication, but if you don't pay up, I might just turn them off. Like a totally neutral tech billionaire would. So let's summarize. First, Ukraine doesn't owe the US anything. US aid was not a loan. Demanding half of Ukraine's resource is colonialism, not foreign policy. Cutting off Starlink mid-war unless Ukraine agrees to a shakedown is straight-up warlord behavior. But hey, if we're building allies now, when does Israel get its invoice? Or is this only for countries Trump suddenly wants to stop supporting? That's it for today's fact check. Next up, did Trump actually win in 2020? Spoiler alert, no.